time we seek to bring discussions to you that are going to enlighten us, to give us a high perspective in every discussion. Now, today's discussion will be talking about music through the pandemic, and I'm glad to have Mr. Joseph. Oh, he has lost, but he'll be joining in a few. I'm glad to have Emmanuel Owiti. Emmanuel joining us. Karibu sana.
Asante.
Please tell us which part of Kenya you are from.
I'm from Kisumu.
You're in Kisumu right now. Thank you so much.
Yes.
We're also glad to have Franklin Mireri, who is joining us from Tanzania. Frank.
Thank you.
Karibu sana.
Thank you. Yeah, in Arusha, Tanzania currently.
Sawa. We'll be having Mr. Duncan Oswago joining us, and also having Joseph Ola from Tanzania who will be joining us, and he'll be telling us which group he will be sharing his insights from. Even as we start, I see Duncan is joining. Thank you so much. Now, let me start off by Emmanuel. No, let me start off with you, Franklin Mireli and Emmanuel. I'm sure you've all heard about the news from a good music leader called Kebaso. Emmanuel, have you heard of Kebaso?
Yes.
What is happening to him?
I heard it like yesterday, but one.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And I'll be bringing Mr. Joseph, who will be joining us during this meeting to tell us what is happening. But the actual account we have about what is happening to him is that he went through surgery, is going through a rough patch right now, but we'll be having the clarification of this information as Joseph will be joining. But I'd like to start with this. Duncan Oswago, you are from...
Hello?
Yes, Duncan, tunakusikia. I'm asking, you're from
I'm from Kisumu.
Yes, so I'm asking, now that we are all in lockdown, rather COVID-19 has changed how we conduct our businesses. How is King's Ministers doing evangelism in such times?
Yeah, thank you for inviting us to this very important discussion.
Yes.
I represent King's Ministers.
Okay.
Of course, currently I'm the leader of King's Ministers, largely known by the name KMM, which in full stands for King's Ministers Melodies. As you have said, it is right that since coronavirus was announced in our country and our country went into partial lockdown, we have not been meeting because the government requirement says that there's no gathering. But you see, we are numbering about 40. So to bring all these people to meet has been a challenge. But large and by, what connects us right now is only online. We do our things online. Practically, that is how we meet. We do our fellowship on Zoom. We practice online. So that is basically how we do some of our activities.
Okay, that is good. That is encouraging. Now, Emmanuel, nilikutoka recording from Red Springs. Kindly, would you tell us which group you're recording and how are you guys managing to do such in such trying times?
Right now, I'm with the Capstone Ministers.
Okay.
We are doing something with them. They've been family for long. That's why I was a little engaged, but I've already excused myself.
Thank you. Now, I'm glad that Joseph, you have joined. Kindly, Emmanuel, wind up on your statement as I bring Joseph.
Oh, sorry. I'm heading the Red Springs Voice. I think that's we've met a lot on that forum because we do a lot of online right now during the pandemic, and also with the Pillars of Faith ministers. So I'm split.
Okay. Let me bring you in, Joseph. We all heard of the what is happening to a good music leader who has been for a while, Kebaso. Can you tell us what is happening to him during these times?
Kebaso is now admitted at Mwimbili Hospital, waiting for the operation on Monday morning. So the most important thing to us is to pray for him, for what's going to happen to him on Monday. That's the most important thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Could you be telling us the condition that he is suffering from for him to go to an operation, or we could like to give it to put it on private?
Okay, kuna uvimbe kichwani ambapo imeleta shida na ubongo. So wanataka watoe kwanza ule uvimbe, alafu ndio hii habari ya kansa ndio itapata kwanza, kwa sababu anapoteza memory sasa hivi, na hata akikuona anaweza atakuuliza kwamba we ni nani na mbona umekuja hapo na maswali kama hayo. Kwa hiyo ina maana kuna shida kwenye ubongo kutokana na ule uvimbe. Sasa wanamfanyia operation kwanza, watoe wamweke sawa kwenye ubongo, alafu ndo watakuja kwenye hii habari ya kansa pia inayomsumbua.
Now, for you who's watching and you don't know who Kebaso is, I'd like to give a small bio, so to speak. But Mr. Kebaso is the teacher of Kurasini Choir, and if you're young like me, all of us, I guess, we all grew listening to Kurasini Choir. And I'd like to ask you to take this moment to actually put his family to prayer, to put him to prayer, that he can be able to go through this surgery successfully, and we hope that his ability and skills are not going to be lost even as he's going to go through this condition. Now, let me come to you, Frank. You have been a very good composer of music, and you've written music for very many groups. You are right now in Tanzania. Do you still get to do this even as you're in Tanzania?
Thank you very much, my brother Sam. We definitely have been busy as a studio. My brother and I run a studio, F&M Music, and we are also members of New Life SDA Church. As you may be aware, the coronavirus pandemic caused even the general conference session to be postponed, and New Life Youth and Ambassadors were actually planning to travel to the US next week. That is from June 25th, around 130 of them. And so we definitely had to change our schedules. Even now I'm in Arusha. I work with the East African community, but I could not be able to travel through the border across Namanga because Kenya and Tanzania have closed their borders. But we've still continued to work virtually with my brother. As we speak here in Arusha, I work with 3 youth choirs, Kijenge SDA Youth Choir, I work with Usa River SDA Youth Choir, and Kwamrombo SDA Youth Choir, and they're also planning to record this month actually. And so even as we speak, the elder was just calling me to ask about the schedule this weekend. So yes, even though I am working in terms of a professional international relations work with the East African community, I still work with the youth here in Arusha, and we believe in the next 2 or so months you're going to have a wonderful production from the team here. Thank you.
That is good. Let me come to you, Joseph. Now, Emmanuel and the team from Red Springs have done a cover music of a song that was written and was sung by Kurasini Choir. I don't know if you've heard it. Now, I would have loved to have Kebaso respond to this, but how does this make you feel knowing that a group in Kenya did a cover music of one of your songs?
I'm happy of that, and it's a very good privilege to us to have some groups singing the songs for us. Actually, I commented on their YouTube channel there. I was so much surprised and happy of them, and even they have gone beyond us because they have sing it nicely, joyfully, happily, feelings 100%. Thanks for that group.
Emmanuel, let me come to you. What was the inspiration behind doing that cover? I mean,
we've loved Kurasini. We grew up knowing Kurasini, and they're such a darling to us. So when we come together during this pandemic, at times we don't wait to get bored. A musician, there is always a song for every season.
Okay.
And therefore, Kurasini was the first on our lips, and we like that song. That particular song is something else. We've been singing it all along. So we decided to give the tribute to our choir, and we love them so much.
Now, for you who's watching, you're wondering which song is this that Red Springs did a cover for. Is Magari na Mafarasi, if I'm not wrong. Magari na
Yes.
Farasi. We will be able to have the privilege to listen to that song.
Watu hawa wanazungumzia magari,
Watu hawa wanazungumzia farasi, sisi tunajivunia jina la Yesu, jina la Yesu, jina la Yesu. Ushindi, 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 ni jina la Yesu. Ni Yesu, ni Yesu, ni Yesu pekee, jiwe kuu, jiwe la pembeni, likiitwa mambo yote ni sawa sawa, kila goti litapigwa kwake siku ya hukumu. Sema wasikie, kila goti litapigwa kwake siku ya mwisho. Ni Yesu, ni Yesu, ni Yesu pekee, jiwe kuu, jiwe la pembeni, likiitwa mambo yote ni sawa sawa, kila goti litapigwa kwake siku ya hukumu. Sema wasikie, kila goti litapigwa kwake siku ya mwisho.
Let me come to you, Duncan Oswago.
Yeah.
KMM has been in existence for the longest time. The longest time. I mean, I agree listening to KMM, I agree listening to Pillars, I agree listening to Kurasini, and I mean, we can. The list is endless. I'm curious. What has kept you guys going up to today? Duncan?
Come clear?
What has kept KMM going until today? What has kept KMM stuck together until today?
Okay, thank you, Sam. KMM has been in existence since its inception. No, now we are doing 22 years.
22 years.
Yeah, we are now doing our 20th second year.
So what has kept you guys together for 22 years and even more?
It is a mystery. It is a question that many have asked us wherever we walk, wherever we go. And they are wondering that 22 years we are still in existence and the same places. But it is also a mystery to us. But one thing that we have, we know that it takes the hand of God for us to have come this far. And one aspect of it is that we pray. You know, every time we pray to God that we may fulfill His mission. So prayer and the relationship between us has also kept us intact because we take ourselves as brothers and sisters in this faith. And as soldiers, we have always said that we don't want even to lose none of us. Because we have been called into this field. So those has made us to be stuck together because we have identified our purpose of living, that is to evangelize and to work for God. So this has ever kept us alive. And even now, sometimes the tide may want you to go away, but you see, when you remember that you are a soldier, you are called, you are a servant of God, then we always come together, we pray, and then we move on. It is a mystery. I can't say that there's any credit that can go to us, but the Lord knows.
Okay, thank you so much. Let me come to you, Franklin. Oh, Franklin amepotea kidogo. Let me bring this question to you, Manuel. Now, from the secular world, we see very many artists writing songs in regards to COVID-19. Thank you, Red Springs, for doing a cover from Kurasini. But are we waiting to see a song from the Adventist Society that is going to speak about COVID-19?
The Adventist Society, I've already had quite a number.
Well, I have not heard of them. Maybe you can share with us a song or two that you know of.
Not us actually, but we have done groups singing about the COVID. It's already out there. It's big. They're good songs.
Could you be naming a group or the group that did that kind of music?
Ebenezer, there's an Ebenezer from Migori. There are quite a number. I really can't because I was not ready to remember them, but I know them. Yes.
Well, if there's if you're a group and you've done a song in regards to COVID-19, kindly tell us. I know of Tanzania, there's a kids choir that did a song of COVID-19 and it has blown the internet. Joseph, could you be knowing of that choir?
Even Salasala choir. Salasala, yes, also did that, and also kids song. They also did the same song.
Okay, sawa. Duncan from KMM, are you guys planning to do a music on the subject of COVID-19?
Not really. We are not yet there to do a situational music, of course. But you see, generally we are a people called to give hope to the world that is faced with dangers and all these issues. But currently we are practicing our music, which is full of hope. We center it that. Christ eventually gives us hope. It takes us, even though these pandemics, the issues around us could be like this one, but eventually Christ gives hope. So we are giving the biggest hope of when Christ will come. All these pandemics, all these diseases shall be no more. So generally, it is not just for institutional one, like for the pandemic, this coronavirus 19, but it is a message that brings hope to a dying world, to a world where even our best have given up.
Thank you so much. Let me come to you, Emmanuel. Now,
yes.
Pillars of Faith has also been around for quite a while. We have to give it. And I'd like to borrow into a music that has transcended generations, that Pillars of Faith sang. The song is called Nyundo. And I'm happy that God used you as a vessel to pen down that kind of music. And I'm curious to know what was running through you when that music was being written, Manuel.
It was a series. It was a connection of sermons together, and majorly it was an idea I borrowed from someone I liked listening to also, called Randy Travis. He's also a musician. He was also giving the same picture. And one day during a sermon by Eric Adamba, back in the game somewhere, Pandawayala, then it just hit me. So I decided to just put it down. And so the Pillars of Faith perfected it. And there it is.
Let me ask you, I'm sure the word has gone around that you are the person who God used to pen down this message. What do you take of the messages and the responses that you get to hear of how this particular song has transformed people's lives?
It's glory we give to God. Amen. Actually, we get some testimonies and we give the praise to Him because, in essence, there is nothing to take credit for. We don't do our music like we sit down, we want to write a song. There are inspirations that come. It's like a revelation. And once you're done with it, you can't even identify with it because it is a message for you first. So it keeps talking to you so much until you decide to share it with someone else. And that's why we put it on the CD to share it with the whole world.
Now, that song, amongst some songs which KMM have done and Kurasini, have been on a constant request every time as Hope Channel Kenya get to do a program called Request Hour. That is one of the songs that many people still ask till today. Let me ask, when was it released, Emmanuel?
You said Nyundo?
Yes, when was Nyundo released?
It should have been, I think it's 2014.
Since 2014 till 2020, clearly that song has made a great impact to people's lives. Now let me come to you. Joseph, nauliza kuna groups ambazo zina mushroom ambazo zinakuja katika the music font ambao wanaeneza injili, lakini hapo katikati they do not get to last long kama Kurasini ama Pillars ama KMM. What could be the problem?
Okay. All right. Unajua ni kazi ya Mungu, alafu watu wamejitoa kwa ajili ya kazi ya Mungu na wanajua wajibu wao kwa Mungu wao. Ukiangalia Kurasini hawana mashindano ya bea kwa ajili ya kumtukuza Mungu, na wana hofu juu ya Mungu. So we have some weakness as individuals, lakini hazitushindi kama group kuweza kusonga mbele. Na sababu tunamtanguliza Mungu, that's why we are still there up to now.
I'm happy that you brought in the aspect of competition. Franklin, you have been writing music for very many groups. And I'm sure you've interacted with groups that wanakuja na huo moto lakini wanapotelea. Apart from competition, what else could be the challenge?
Thank you. I think
Go on, Frank.
I think another challenge would be the dynamics of life. You find that, for example, the group starts when they are students in a university, and during that time, the Lord uses them for that part of their life. And then when they finish, when they graduate, they move to another area of life. So it's not necessarily a bad thing. When they transition, they definitely are not at the same location. Another aspect might be personality issues, because you might find a group starts because one or two members who are founders are good musicians and they're located at that place. So maybe when they get a job transfer, or when they move to Arusha, or they move to Kisumu or Dar es Salaam, they definitely, the dynamic is shaken in the group. So some of the things may not be actually intentional. Some of the things actually brought as a result of the work and the space we live in as human beings in this world.
That is true, but also one thing that we cannot ignore is that some groups have had issues within them for them to not to have worked. I'd like to bring you in Duncan Oswago, also from KMM. I mean, COVID-19 has created a situation where in Kenya, I know Tanzania is different. In Kenya, we don't get to interact sana. Now, this situation has made us, even as musicians, what is that one thing, Duncan, you'd share to musicians that even as we plan to live this lockdown and also live this crisis of coronavirus, what is that one lesson that you'd want to share with musicians so that tukiingia tena tuanze kufanya mziki ikuwe unified na tusikuwa na hizi changamoto ndogo ndogo? Duncan.
I've not got you well. I've only got the last part of your Frank.
Okay, sawa. Let me just say, keep it short. What is that one lesson that you'd want to share with the musician who's watching right now, that as much as saizi hatupati kuimba pamoja, ila wakati ambao tutaimba pamoja, hakutakuwa na hizo changamoto ndogo ndogo ambazo zitafanya group ifeli?
Maybe online, we should first understand that we are missionaries, even though we are on the numbers. No, we are using music as an evangelistic tool. One is that, and so when we understand that, online, I think we should adapt ourselves to the situations that are around us. But it is very Tanzania help. Another issue is that we are not stopping from our mission, and especially from our Kenya, we are not free to interact. We are not only but we do not go into land. Like that now, we do missions which are not just the recording some group. So we still engage on group like practicing. We are yet maybe online or there are a video because distancing. We say that depending on the number, using our what to do as King's ministers, even to put us on the limelight. One is that we are practicing, but now we are confronted that although we take it lightly, but it is burning on hell. Another issue is that we are not stopping from our mission, and especially from our mission field. That we know we are not only the last singing, but as an evangelistic ministry, we do missions which are not just singing. So we still engage on those, like
working for the Lord of God.
we are yet
So,
to
thank you so
unveil
much, Duncan. Let me
for
come to
a
you,
widow,
Manuel.
because
Now,
we said that during this pandemic
there have been
we are not using
and I'm
our
sorry
resources
to,
like fires
I know
when
I'm
God
not putting you
bless
into a
the
place
hearts
where
of
you'd have
the
to
in
speak
some
for the
places.
many.
But
But
now we are
let me
converted that
ask you
into
personally. I'm sure you've heard of
charity.
allegations
So
of
we are
when
giving
groups are
out
called upon to serve, they have a crazy
donations,
budget,
something
and
that we would
from
have used in
wale
prayer
ambao
or
wako
in
kule
transport.
kanisani wanasema
Now we convert
watu
it
wana maringo
to bless
ama what's your
other
take about
people
that?
for who are in need.
Thank
So
you
I
so
think
much.
this will
Brother,
still
it depends
keep
on where you've
our
been
Nini
called
voice,
to serve.
our
At times,
spirit
the missions
for
may be so
working
many
for the
that
Lord
you
of
may
God.
not
So thank you so much,
be
Duncan. Let
able
me
to
come to
cater
you,
for.
Emmanuel.
It is
Now,
not wrong
there
for
have been allegations,
the
and I'm
hosts
sorry to.
supporting your
I know
movement.
I'm not putting you into
Because,
a place
okay, take
where
it for
you'd have to
instance.
speak for the
Let's be
many.
human and
But
say
let me ask
we are in
you
Kisumu right now.
personally. I'm sure you've heard of allegations of when groups are called upon to serve,
You
they
know
have
their
a
need is
crazy
souls and
budget,
mission
and
requires you.
from
You don't get me?
wale ambao wako
Yeah,
kule
so
kanisani wanasema hawa watu wana
you said,
maringo,
for instance, you've been
ama
called to go minister to the
what's your take
US.
about that?
You are a group of 26. Some of us may just be riding on bicycles. You don't own vehicles. How can you get an air ticket on your own without asking for assistance? So in such a scenario, it is only good. Actually, I see even on the service requests, there is a slot indicating who will be catering. Okay, take it for instance. Let's be human and say, and they accept that they would foot it. It is not wrong to support the ministry by providing fare. But the problem comes when you start quoting that we would like such and such an amount. That is very wrong because it is not a business. For instance, you've been called to go minister to the US. You're not doing business. You are a group of 26. Some of us it is just right that you've been riding on bicycles. You don't own vehicles. How can you get an air ticket on your own without asking for assistance? So in such a scenario, it is only good. Actually, I see even on the service request, there is a slot indicating who will be catering, footing the fare and all that. And they accept that they would foot it. It is not wrong to support the ministry by providing fare. But the problem comes when you start quoting that we would like such and such an amount. That is very wrong because it is not a business per se. Actually, when you're ministering, you're not doing business. It is just right that you've been given free. You should also give back freely.
Okay. Let me bring in Joseph. Kurasini has been able to travel different places. Hamjaambiwa nyinyi kwamba mko na budget ambayo haikai realistic. Joseph?
Maybe from now sisi ni wao wenyewe wana propose budget yao. May to November we have been called for maybe 7 places, lakini wao wanapiga inside in our country and outside. Outside, maybe in Kenya, we need to go for 3 camp meetings. And how can we manage to go on 3 camp meetings in our own way? Through and flow. And some are sending just that's one way. We need the assistance kama tunaweza kama tuwezi pia tunasema
So let me come to you, Frank. You have been working with youthful choirs.
For example,
and one thing that I've heard from those youthful choirs is that kuna kwa zingine ambazo wana maringo to you. Have you heard of this, and what's your take on this subject?
May to November, we have been called for maybe
Frank?
7 places. We need to go inside in our country and outside. Outside, maybe in Kenya, we need to go for 3 camp.
Well, Maringo,
and how can we
I cannot quantify or explain what kind of Maringo means. But what I know, young people should be actually empowered. They should be encouraged whenever they come together to sing. Because we know we are competing for their souls, for their allegiance with the devil. The devil who has put a lot of attractive things in their lives, so to speak. So whenever we find young people who are willing to serve, they're willing to sing, we agree they may make mistakes. they may make mistakes according to us who are more politically or religiously correct.
Thank you.
But people grow.
Can you hear me?
So I think that
ahead.
should be the spirit in every church that,
Sorry,
the sinners in us have come to church. They're willing to learn.
I cannot quantify or explain what kind of maringo means.
Let
But what I know, young
love and
people
correction
should be
precedence. So that's the philosophy.
actually empowered. They should be encouraged whenever they come together to sing, because we know we are competing for their souls, for their allegiance with the devil. The devil who has put a lot of attractive things in their lives, so to speak. So whenever we find young people who are willing to serve, they're willing to sing, we agree they may make mistakes. They may make mistakes according to us, who are more politically or religiously correct. But people grow. So I think that should be the spirit in every church, that, hey, the sinners in us have come to church, they're willing to learn.
I would want to share that
Let
we are
the
called,
spirit of love and correction take precedence. So that's the philosophy that I think should lead us.
Now we are coming to your close. Naona wakati umeenda sana. I'd like to give Duncan Oswago a moment to share. What is that one experience you'd want to share with
we have a home.
Duncan? I'm hoping unanisikia. What is that one experience you'd want to share to our viewer ili pate kumencourage kwamba even through this pandemic, music can get you going, and there is hope at the end of the tunnel.
Of the COVID-19, we all
thank you, Sam.
These are all games of
I would want to share that
we may lose hope.
That is number one thing that we must identify.
But as ministers, we are called by God, and we have a purpose, and we have a reason why we are living. John chapter 15, he said that in the world you will see tribulation. You will be have a hope. They will persecute you. But to be of good cheer, I have overcome and hell to shun. So we must also be aware that the devil is working around the law, and even we must still be working because the COVID-19. No, we all these are all games of the devil. We shall see this we may epidemics and the pandemic. We may lose hope but he has overcome the world for us. But as ministers, we must be still aware. We still sing our voices. And we say in John our God, I think he said that in the world you will see tribulation, you will be dragged, they will persecute you. But to be of good cheer, I have overcome the world. I think that basically gives us a motivation and an encouragement to go.
Thank you, because during this pandemic,
because the Lord says
God is still there. God is still working with us. We thank God in Tanzania. Yesterday we started our practice for the first time.
Overcome the world for us. So
we are still singing. We are going to church. And we are now enjoying.
We still sing.
And Satan is still there. And that's why even you in Kenya, you are locked up. And God knows.
Thank you so much, Duncan.
Joseph, I know you miss going to church, you miss singing together,
the people who could be affected with this COVID-19, and even to the musicians. Joseph?
God is soon going to allow that.
Thank you,
We'll
because during this pandemic,
together.
God is still there. God is still working with us.
It will be
God in Tanzania.
Amen. Thank you so much, Joseph, for such an encouraging message.
For the first time, and we are
even
singing, we are going
during
to church,
this
and we are
pandemic.
now
And what would you like to share with our musicians?
And Satan is still there.
Thank you. I'm sorry my internet has been erratic today. I don't know why. But I just want to say that
God knows
definitely I agree with my brothers, what I've shared.
I know you miss going to church.
One thing that we need during this time is to recognize that some certain elements have changed. There are opportunities, for example, opportunities for digital evangelism. People are spending more time online, so it's time to definitely spend more time reaching people where they are. And secondly, we definitely know that there is an economic impact.
Amen. Thank you so much, Joseph, for such an encouraging message. Let me come to you, Frank. What's your message of hope even during
incomes are
this pandemic, and what would you like to share with that musician?
And as choirs, we should not
I'm sorry, my internet
be
has
rigid.
been
We should
erratic today. I
actually
don't know why.
adapt to
I
that
just want to
situation.
say that
Be aware of what our brothers and
agree
sisters
with
are
my
going
brothers,
through.
what
Some
they
of
have
them are
shared.
losing
We
employment,
definitely
and we
need
don't
one
need just
thing
to be
that we
singing
need during
together,
this
but we
time
need
is
to
to
stand
recognize
together
that
as a family.
some
Just
certain
early
elements have
church.
changed. There are
Thank you so much,
opportunities, for
Emmanuel.
example, opportunities for digital
Even as you
evangelism.
Yes.
People are spending more time
close up
online,
your
so
message,
it's
just
time to definitely
off-note
spend
question.
more time reaching people where they are.
Another
And secondly, we
cover
definitely
from
know that
Kurasini
with an
Hospital.
economic impact of the COVID-19 that is coming, a lot of people are going
We
to
will
have
liaise with Brother
to be
Joseph
laid
first.
off. Incomes are going to be strained.
We will
So we
liaise so
should
that
be there to offer hope. And as
Bwanawala will
choirs,
give me
we
his
should
number, so
not
we'll liaise and
be
see what we
rigid. We
can
should
do.
actually
We wish
adapt.
to do another one, but also there are other things we are doing. There's something that we may do still. Yes.
What is your message of hope to the musician, even to the viewer who's going to watch this video?
Behind every dark cloud, the sun still shines.
Amen.
God does not cease from being God just because you have a headache. He is still God. Even if we die today, He is still God. So we say they just have to purpose. If you're a musician out there, first of all, purpose to do good. Where there's a will, there's a way. You would like to do a song to praise the Lord. Purpose, have it in your heart that you want to do it, then take the first step of faith. We are here, out here. We can still support you do it. So you don't have to lose hope just because the corona is here. Actually, I've taken a lot of positive things from the corona pandemic. In every calamity, please take the opportunity, because at least it was a time for reflection. While you stayed at home, you started thinking of other things to keep yourself busy. I love a song done by Kurasini kule nyuma, inasema miguu yangu bado ina nguvu na akili yangu bado yaweza pambanua, kumaanisha bado uko na akili. Akili yako itakusaidia, kuna mengi utafanya kumtukuza Mungu. You don't have to be useless at home. Thank you.
Thank you so much, gentlemen, for your time, and thank you, our viewer, for being in this sharing. We are hoping that Emmanuel and Joseph will be able to link up. Tujue kama hiyo cover ya Kurasini itakuja ama itakuwa cover ya KMM. But even so, we are going to put it in
No problem.
Utanitumia namba yake.
Thank you so much, and thank you for watching. This is Hope Online. I have been your host, Samuel Mang. Until then, stay safe, stay blessed.
Enyi wanadamu, tegeni sikio, msikie neno hili. Nataka kuwaeleza juu ya virusi vya korona. Vinatisha sana, mataifa yote sasa yanaomboleza. Kifo hapa, kifo pale, kipindi cha giza. Enyi wanadamu, tegeni sikio, msikie neno hili. Nataka kuwaeleza juu ya virusi vya korona. Vinatisha sana, mataifa yote sasa yanaomboleza. Kifo hapa, kifo pale, kipindi cha giza. COVID-19, wamama, vijana, wazee na watoto, watu wote tumo hatarini. Tufuate maagizo tulopewa, tusije ambukizwa na virusi vibaya vya korona. COVID-19, wamama, vijana, wazee na watoto, watu wote tumo hatarini. Tufuate maagizo tulopewa, tusije ambukizwa na virusi vibaya vya korona. Osha mikono au sanitize. Osha mikono au sanitize. Osha mikono au sanitize. Osha mikono.